There's people that we know about in life who lived that way, people like Walt Disney. And we look back at the lives of people like that, and we might think, well, they were just talented. They were special. And it looks that way when you see their lives from the point of view that we have now. When you look at them backwards. If you had the chance to look at a person like Walt Disney at the beginning of his life, at the stage where he was formulating his ideas and using his imagination, we might not think that. His first job was a journalist for a newspaper, and he was fired, and he was told he had no imagination and no good ideas. So it's really important to remember that as we sit here today with our dreams and with our ideas and with our imagination, there are no edges. There is nobody to say that you can't live your dream. We've just got to go out and see what you can do. So what did Walt Disney do after he was fired? He decided he had an idea, and he really wanted to make his idea come true and do it. So he moved. He couldn't do it where he was, so he moved to California. And his idea was to start a cartoon about a mouse. Now, at the stage in life that he was, and he didn't have anything to show for his ideas, people might say, wow, okay, you got an idea, but, that's pretty crazy. But he didn't stop. He kept going, he kept dreaming. He created his cartoon. And then he made movement, and he was one of the first to create animation. And so what's so important today is whatever you're dreaming, whatever it is that you would love to have in your life, be open to the idea that you are more. There is so much inside of you. You have everything you need within you to accomplish your dreams. We are becoming aware and learning to focus on the invisible parts of our nature. And so this is a picture of leaves blowing in the wind. The wind is powerful, but you can't see it. It's invisible. What you see is the effect of the wind. And so you look at a picture with the leaves blowing, an umbrella blowing, and so you see that and you say, yeah, I can see the wind. You see the effect of the wind. And it's the same thing with the invisible parts of our nature, which these are the parts of us that we want to activate in order to create our dreams, to get in touch with our dreams, and then to begin the process of movement, taking action, taking a step. So it's our thoughts, perception. Perception is the way that you look at something. Whatever way you're looking at something at the moment, there are other ways to look at it that are available to you. So when you have the thought that I could take a look at something from another point of view that's different than the one I'm looking at it right now, you open up yourself, you open up into that more. Imagination. We're going to be talking a lot about imagination. Intuition. Sometimes you just know something, you get a gut feeling. And that is part of this whole process as well. And then the will is our decider. The will is the part of us that we use to make a choice, to make a decision, and to move forward and to take action. And so when you put all of these parts of yourself together, you have the engine, you have what it takes to create a dream, to create something that's not there yet. Where you sit today, your ideas, your dreams haven't come into creation yet. When you activate all these parts of yourself and move forward and use some tools and some skills that we're going to learn today, you move forward, you bring it into creation, just like Walt Disney had an idea about a mouse, and now all of us know who Mickey Mouse is. And we've all had an experience throughout our lives that's incredible and happy. And that was all because one person had an idea and moved forward on it. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is thinking. And this is one of the most powerful things we have. One of the ways that is fun to think about these parts of us, these aspects of who we are, is like the operating system of a computer. So if our body is the hardware, it's the computer, it's the thing sitting there, you have an operating system. And you have to activate that in order for the power of the computer to be realized. So we come into our lives with all of these parts of us are there. And some of these parts of us, our imagination specifically, we use it freely when we're little children. And we're not afraid yet. We're not afraid to imagine. We're not afraid to put a silly hat on or tie dish towels around ourselves and say we're Superman or Superwoman. We do it and we imagine, we have fun and we're free. And then as we grow up and as we get older, we begin to do less and less of that. And so one of the things that we can do is learn that we can continue, we can activate our imagination again. We just might want to do it with fewer dishcloths. So we learn to be as creative and as powerful in our imagination within the way that it works in our lives today. So our thoughts are creative and powerful. Thoughts are energy. Our thoughts make things welcome when we think certain kinds of thoughts, and our thoughts create barriers and resistance, other types. So the welcoming thoughts are positive. The barrier-creating thoughts are negative. We can say that positive thoughts are expansive, they open us, and negative thoughts are contractive. We learn to harness the power of our thoughts by making choices about what we think. This is actually, it's very powerful information when we learn to use this in our daily life. So the first skill that we learn in this process is called noticing. And at first it sounds so simple. It sounds like, well, yeah, I know how to do that. There's so much more to it than that. When you begin to notice what you think, you are doing something very powerful. Because if you notice that you're thinking negative thoughts, you have the opportunity to change it. And when you change negative thoughts to positive thoughts, you have done something very powerful and positive for yourself. The more that you change negative thoughts to positive thoughts, you're creating a positive environment around yourself. You actually feel different when you think positive thoughts as opposed to negative. A lot of what goes on in our minds and in our thoughts runs at the default, the subconscious. Most people develop habits of running negative thinking, negative thoughts. It's part of what happens in our daily routines, as the years go by and our experiences that we go through. And it becomes automatic. Some people call it ANTS, A-N-T-S, automatic negative thoughts. It's part of just what goes on. To the degree that you can notice that and change it, you begin to change your life. You can change your life physically because you make different decisions when you have positive thinking and you're looking at the expansive way of looking at life. One of the other ways that it affects you physically is your brain chemistry that's associated with positive thoughts is dopamine and serotonin. Those brain chemicals affect your body differently than stress hormone chemicals do that are associated with negative thoughts. And cortisol, and that gets into chemistry, and Robert knows a lot more about that. But this is how everything's connected. That our thoughts affect our brain chemicals, which affect us physically. They affect how you feel, which in your emotions. So these chemicals are connected to your emotions. You feel your emotions in your body. If you spend more of your day feeling happy, you will be healthier. You'll make different decisions from a happy place than you do from negative, stressed out, even angry, whatever the case may be. You know the cascade, and there's a scale. You can you can look at a scale of emotions. So the power of noticing, so this is a skill, and it's something that you can write it down, and then there are tools and things that we can do to develop new habits of noticing. Create habits for yourself. When you notice you have a negative thought, then you change it. And one of the things we can do, which we'll do today, is you plan ahead of time a positive thought that you have ready. So when you notice yourself thinking, I can't do this, something comes up and it has been a challenge to you at some point in your life, so your automatic thought is, I can't do this. Now, what you can do, notice you're having that thought, I can't, or something negative like that. You go, I can change that. Now, you make a conscious decision to change your thought. You change your thought to, I can find a way. It doesn't mean you know the answer or you know exactly how to do something. That's actually not important to begin with. What's important is to change your thought, I can find a way. That's the only change you need to make to begin with. Now, once you've made that change, you can notice there's a different feeling inside of you. When you're saying, I can't, you have a feeling, it's a lower energy feeling, it's negative, it's contractive. When you practice saying, I can find a way, I know I can find some way, I can figure out how to do what I can with what I have right now. It may not be a lot, but it's something. And when you think like that, you change what's happening around you, which ultimately changes your life.